Little bit higher, and it is 2:30, and it is also a beautiful day outside. So we are going to get this show on the road. And we have our volunteer parliamentarian is pointing out, please turn on your cameras. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, I'm going to wait to share and just go through a few things before we get to the rest of the agenda. So it is November and Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and so far so good. We've made it this far. So well done, everyone, being diligent, and the big three: washing our hands, wearing our mask, and social distancing. And of course, now that Erie County is in yellow, that is more important than ever, because if we do not want to go into orange, then those are the things that we're going to need to do. We have to be very diligent. And especially that's going to impact our small business owners who had a very difficult time recovering from the last time. So we all need to do our part. Okay. And with November, as many of you probably already know, the schedule went live yesterday in WebAdvisor. So that means it is now time to begin advising and get our students registered for the spring semester. So please reach out to your students, your advisees, anyone that could be a potential student for the spring, and let's get them enrolled for the spring 2021 semester. Phil Strubel's going to be joining us today a little bit later to give us a little bit more details about enrollment and what our push is going to be for the spring. One of the things that for advisors that went out yesterday through CPD, so thank you, Marianne Partee and Dorothy Joseph, Adrian Rannick, Joanne Komarauer, and myself had a discussion, and one of the things with the list for advisees, especially through, there's just so many different ways, right? There's Starfish, there's WebAdvisor, and there's Informer. So one of the things that we did notice is that not everyone is as proficient with Informer as everyone else. And I'm going to go right on record and say I am one of those people, so do not feel bad if you also do not know how to do Informer. But Adrian Rannick came up with a very simple one-pager with directions. Went out again yesterday through CPD, but it's also on the Senate site, and I will be resharing it on Thursday. It's I already did it to pull mine. It's very straightforward, very simple. So please make a note of that and to look for that to help get our students enrolled for the spring semester. And actually, as an aside, I am offering my students 5 points extra credit if they send me a screenshot of their schedule for the spring semester. And because why not, right? 5 points is 5 points. It's not going to turn someone from a C to an A, but it's 5 points. And any student that is going to be completing at the end of the semester, so students that are graduating, I told them, hey, just send me a screenshot of your graduation application, right? We can work around these things. So I don't know. I like to do all sorts of things for a little extra incentive, so maybe my students are too. So I'm hoping that when we meet again in December, I can report back that all of my students are registered. That's my goal. So moving on from there. And speaking of CPD, I also spoke with Marianne Partee yesterday. We haven't had a big come together, kumbaya, if you will, with faculty and staff. And there are just so many amazing things that people are doing in their classes remote that are including things with COVID, things with relevant all across every topic. So we thought it would be a great idea to do a sharing day. So we're working on that, and the sharing day is going to be on Friday, December 4th from 12 to 3. So kind of think of it as a way that we can share with each other the different ways that we are getting information to our students, all the creative ways that everyone is teaching and learning as we're working through this remote and maybe there will be something there that we can learn from each other or get inspired for the spring semester. So look more to your email for that. But again, December 4th from 12 to 3. It'll be virtual, of course, but I hope everyone can join us for that. It should be a lot of fun. In other news, I shared last month that the College Senate has been given 2 extra seats at the table for the Board of Trustees Policy Committee. So Bill Falls, who is one of our senators, and Carl Stokes are our new appointees to those to that committee, which meets today after the Senate meeting. So I just want to say thank you to them and congratulations, gentlemen, on joining this group. And then finally, tomorrow is Veterans Day. So let's not forget how important tomorrow is to a significant portion of our country, all of those that have served in the past and present for our armed services, and why we have a democratic, free country because of this service. So if you see a vet, please thank a veteran. Thank all of the veterans if you run into any, with your mask and social distance, of course. So I also want to congratulate our new chairwoman of the Board of Trustees. Denise Wilson is on to join us today and to address the Senate as she starts her first term as the chairmadam of the Erie Community College Board of Trustees. So welcome, Denise. I'll turn it over to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Colleen. You know, I just realized that this is the first time I've ever seen so many of these faces, and shame on me that I have not thus far, but I'm not going to speak long. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everything that you guys have done over these last few months during these really, really hard times within this college. Thank you for your commitment and your fortitude to SUNY Erie or ECC, whichever you prefer. I'm not picky with it. And for first and foremost, the students. It has not gone unnoticed with any of the trustees that you guys are working really hard to overcome so many of the challenges that we are facing on all levels. I know in times this position that I sit in has been a little far removed from everyone, but I just want to say, you know, without being cliche, that I have an open door, you know, policy, and you guys can always feel free to reach out and contact me if you need to, or, you know, contact the president who will contact me, just what have you. I am not out of reach. And I definitely want to be a resource for all of you as we all work together to get to the next steps of this college. As many of you may know or may not know, that I was chosen to be on this board several years ago, really because of my community experience and my ties with students and within community. And I am really student focused, student success focused, and all things ends there for me. So I just appreciate all of you and all of your work. And if there's ever anything that you guys need, I just want you to know that I am here. I have 2 years left, so let's make this count, right? So yeah, that's really all I have to say, and I just want to thank you guys again, and thanks for having me here.
Awesome. Thank you, Chairmadam Wilson. I love saying that. I love it.
I know that has a ring to it, right?
It does have a ring to it. It's fantastic. So thank you so much for joining
absolutely.
us.
I just want to say, when I was going through school and teachers would offer 5 points for me for anything, I would do it. So kudos for the 5 points for a screenshot. I'm like, yeah, give me that 5 points, because a lot of times I probably needed it.
Easy peasy. Awesome. And so before I turn it over to Interim President Reuter, I want to share something that was also shared with the Board of Trustees. And I'm going to get it pulled up here and share. So, oh, it's already started. Hang on a second. There we go. Hang on a second. So I don't know how many of you know this, but there was a video that was made and produced by many of the people that are here today, senators, union leadership for Faculty Fed. So I just want to share this and encourage you to also share it on any social media platforms or anything that you may have. I have it shared on mine. And you can find me. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and on LinkedIn. I shared them on all three. And it's pretty easy to find me. It's Colleen Quinn. And with this was produced by, Nick Sonrecker from ITS, who helps us all the time with our camera and our Senate duties, is the one who shot it. Michael Delaney directed it. But Adrian Rannick from the math department is the voice in the background. And then Paul Zanoli from the math department also is the composer of the music that you can see in the background as well. And then we had several members from our English and theater department help write the script for this. So this is fantastic. I don't know who's seen it yet, but it's definitely worth sharing again today. So here it is.
Colleen, we're not hearing that. I'm going to take presenter role and share that out myself.
Okay.
I'm Andy Sacco. I'm president of the Faculty Federation of Erie Community College, and I represent the education professionals that are here to help you explore and reach your goals.
Whether you are a recent high school graduate or an adult learner, our goal is your success.
We understand students need flexibility with convenient locations and on-campus and online classes.
We understand students want a quality education at an affordable price.
We use the latest teaching methods and technologies for effective learning.
Our programs include labs, internships, and clinicals.
At ECC, learning and campus culture are vibrant as much as vital.
So, whether you hope to earn a certificate or a degree to enter the workforce or seek to transfer to another college, start here.
We are the Faculty Federation of Erie Community College, helping you go anywhere. Visit us at ecc.edu.
Did we lose Colleen?
Yeah, guys, she just got kicked out, so she's trying to log back in. And we're not really sure why she got kicked out.
While we're waiting for Colleen, this is Jason Steinitz. I just wanted to say that video was excellent. All the people who put that together, I think it shows a nice a group of individuals across ECC. I think it's short, sweet, to the point. I think it's great. So you guys did a fantastic job.
Ditto. Exactly what he said. That was outstanding.
Oh, I'm back. I got kicked out. Sorry. So the plan for the video is, I just saw Joanne's question. I am going to include that in the email on Thursday when I send it out to everybody. But the plan is that we try and share it as much as we possibly can for now. I don't know if there's a plan beyond that, but that's where we are with that. So, and
is it on our website?
I do not believe it is. Michael Delaney is on. Maybe he can. Oh, we are considering some follow-up videos for each division, but right now I do not think they are on the website, or it's on the website.
So I can comment a little bit. It's not on our website, but it is on our YouTube channel. So if you go to youtube.com/SUNY-ECC, you'll find it there.
Awesome. Thank you, Bob. So moving on with the agenda, I'm going to move it over to Interim President Bill Reuter. Oh, is he there? I know he was there earlier.
Bill is muted.
All right, I see you, Bill. You're muted. I think it must be the sunshine. It's just messing with everything today. Going, why are you guys working? Right? Just be in the sunshine before it's gone. This gift of weather we've had for the last week. So how about while we're... Oh, there you are. We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm connected at South on the wall and through my computer too, and the computer was on mute, so I apologize for that. You know, I didn't know Denise was going to be on this call, and she is truly a student champion. She is probably one of our best recruiters to Erie Community College, and she is all about helping our students, potential and current students, navigate through sometimes some of the barriers that we put in place for students. So I'm very, very pleased that Denise is with us as the board chairwoman. She has that community and student focus, which is so critical to our success. As far as some of the things that were mentioned by Colleen, I was going to talk about enrollment first and give my thanks for a lot of things, but I'm going to start with the thanks first. You mentioned quite a few things, Colleen, and instead of, I have names attached to a lot of the initiatives, but in fear of that I will miss a name or names, I'll just say that some of the projects that the faculty and staff have been involved in is ways to improve the process for students, ways to get the word out better for students, messaging for winter enrollment, messaging for spring enrollment, posting on Blackboard, Project Complete, which is an initiative that is a 7-week course for 3 courses that's trying to drive enrollment, trying to improve WebAdvisor, because quite honestly, it was very complicated. You mentioned the advisors and some of the issues that some of the faculty were having. In the last meeting we had, we talked about all the different sources, and the sources didn't necessarily agree with each other. So trying to improve that. The counselors stepping up, the participation enrollment management, enrollment leaders meeting. You mentioned faculty participation at the policy committee and all the committees. You're the ones that touch the students. We think sometimes that we're doing such a great job, but you're the ones that are touching the students and realize what we could do to improve upon. There's no blame. It's a matter of everyone stepping up to the plate and realizing it's not one person or persons responsible for enrollment and the student services and student success. It's everybody. So I certainly appreciate everyone's efforts. The video was awesome, and I've sort of opened it up to staff at the college. If you have an idea, there's no idea that's a bad idea. And so please continue with the ideas, and I may not address each and every one of them, but there's people here that are a lot smarter than I at the college that know how to improve things, and we still need some improvement. So I appreciate that. As far as some of the enrollment numbers, head count for the fall, we pretty much finished. We haven't put in the return to complete numbers, but at this point in time, our head count's down year to year, 16.5%. Our FTEs are down 17%. We had actually budgeted 15%. We're not that far off from our budget goals, 184 student headcount and 81 FTEs. We saw a significant loss in enrollment at South, over 23% at South Campus and 22% on the FTEs. And then when we track our higher education, we're seeing significant declines, over 70% in our transfer students. And that alone would make the difference between hitting enrollment goals and not. And our last year we had over 318 FTEs and transfer students, and as of right now we're only at 87. So that's a big loss as far as our transfer students. So there are things that we're doing. Colleen mentioned spring registration is opening. We're trying to push winter enrollment. We're adding as many courses that can run with students. And as I mentioned before, the late start, and hopefully we can replicate that with additional courses for the spring. The course schedule for the spring is somewhat in a state of flux. I appreciate Andy and the faculty executive team willingness to work with the college on looking at the academic calendar. I know Amy and Mark will give more information on the testing and the COVID-19, but almost on a daily basis, we're getting additional information from SUNY, from the state, from the chancellor on what we're supposed to be doing. So before our students leave this fall for Thanksgiving, we are supposed to conduct 100% testing of every one of those students that is touching our campus in person. So you're looking at about 1,300 students that have to be tested before they leave for 2 days off for Thanksgiving. When those students return, they have to be tested before they leave for the winter break. Every single student, it's a requirement. SUNY is certainly hopeful that the unions at all institutions will also embrace testing. And again, I appreciate the willingness of the faculty and the other unions to have conversation that we're looking for mandatory testing across not only the students, but all the staff that come on our campus. I think it's important because it sets the stage, but it also allows our staff to make sure they're safe. And the pool testing that we're doing is not invasive whatsoever. I went through it. It's simply a swipe under your tongue, self-administered, no one's sticking anything up anywhere. You do it yourself. You stick that swipe in a plastic test tube and you get the results back anywhere from 36 to 48 hours. And knock wood, to date, 1,300 students. We've only had 2 positive pool testing as of the close of business yesterday. So our percent of testing think it's less than 0.1%. It's like 0.09 something. So we have been very good, but as Colleen said, we are one step away from getting shut down. So everyone has to be diligent. That means wearing masks and social distancing and making sure using hand sanitizer, etc. As far as the winter break, every course has to be delivered online, remotely. There's no in-person. The spring semester, you're hearing a lot of chatter that classes will not be starting till February 1st. But with permission from SUNY, we have to submit a plan. There are courses that can start face-to-face prior to February 1st. So we anticipate that there will be a limited number of courses that are in some of the clinicals and some of the other labs that will in fact start prior to February 1st. But once a student comes back on campus and or a staff member, we will be doing testing, pool testing. After February 1st, we are free to run any courses face-to-face. But again, at any point in time, we can be shut down. We want to make sure the academic integrity is maintained throughout. And so again, we're getting guidance almost on a daily basis, and we will continue to keep this the college informed and our constituents and our students. But right now, we are following all the protocol. We submitted our fall plan already to SUNY. They accepted it, and we are working on submitting the spring plan and what courses we will ask for a start prior to February 1st. But again, every student will be required to go through pool testing that touches our campus. As far as some of the only other unknown that we're sort of waiting on some guidance is athletics. It looks like we will not be starting anything into the spring. You have two regions in New York State, Region 3 and Region 15, that have their own sort of guidelines and rules. We are trying to see if we can marry those two regions with SUNY guidance. So nothing is final right now, but if I was a betting person, which I am not, because I hate to lose money, I doubt we're going to have athletics. Certainly there are some high impact athletics such as volleyball and men's and women's soccer and football that I suspect we will not be participating in the spring whatsoever. As far as other sort of state connected items, the state budget, no movement whatsoever in the state budget. We are still in a situation where we are getting delayed on funding by 20%. They're not using the word cut as of yet. So fourth quarter 1920, we had a 20% reduction or delay in our operating aid. And for 2021, we are anticipating a 20% delay / cut in our state operating aid for our fiscal year that started right now. All of this is sort of, I think, subject to whether or not there's any kind of federal stimulus. It's too early to tell. I know a lot of people with the election results feel like we're going to have stimulus that's directed to local governments and or community colleges and institutions of higher education. We just don't know yet. So we have budgeted anticipating the worst. I'm hopeful that it's not, but we have anticipated the worst. And part of that state cut is also that we are seeing a 20% reduction in TAP. So we are still fully funding TAP, but we are anticipating that we may be on the hook for that 20%. I think we received approximately $12 million in non-state aid through the Higher Education Corporation. So 20% of that is a $2.4 million potential hit. Trying to offset those cuts and or delays, we are continuing to look at our staffing. As you know, we had an early retirement incentive that went through August 31st of 2020. We had a number of faculty and administrators that participated in that retirement. In total, we had 30 individuals retire. We did not open that up originally to our CSE and AFSCME unions. We have, however, moved forward with an incentive for this fall. The cutoff date for notifying the college and revoking that notification was last week, Friday, for the faculty and the Administrative Association. As of yesterday, we've had 22 individuals 11 of which are faculty that have indicated that they will be participating in the early retirement. We are looking probably about $8 to $9 million savings between the 2 retirement incentives and the layoffs that we moved forward with about a month ago. Again, we have to curb our spend on salaries and benefits, and we need to maintain a pretty aggressive hiring freeze if we're gonna continue to make payroll and not have to sustain significant cuts still. I'm, again, not a betting person. I can't tell you there's going to be no more personnel reductions. We are trying to manage the institution as best as can in the face of COVID, in case of the enrollment declines, in case, you know, with the state reductions, but we are doing our best. Couple of quick other updates. The Board of Trustees, through Denise's leadership, conducted a full day robust retreat, October 23rd. A lot of really significant issues were discussed at that retreat. Legislator Kevin Hardwick, who chairs the Community Enrichment Committee, he is in the majority at the legislature on the Democratic side. He convened a meeting with the minority chair from the Republican side, the chiefs of staff from the Republican and Democratic side, Andy Sacco, Faculty Federation president, and Maureen Doyle, Administrators Association president, myself, and Denise, and a county executive representative. And it was interesting. Kevin Hardwick, who's a big friend to Erie Community College, a big friend to higher education. He's a faculty member at Canisius, but he believes in SUNY Erie. He started off the discussion on how can he help SUNY Erie, which is, when you start off a meeting like that, it's a very positive sign. Maureen asked me to attend her membership meeting of her union to sort of dispel some negative and inaccurate comments that went through her membership, which I did. I responded to some questions at that meeting. We have a strategic planning and assessment meeting this Thursday with the board, and we're going to be discussing the potential of extending our strategic plan by 1 year. As you know, SUNY Excels currently goes from 2016 to 2021. We are looking at the possibility of extending it for 1 more year in the face of our current pandemic, our enrollment issues, as well as the fact that we will have a new president in the near future. So that president should be participating in that process. And then the board also is going to move forward with a committee of the whole, hopefully just starting in December. Right now, the board has several committees, as well as several ad hoc committees, and quite often those committees, same staff are attending each and every one of those meetings, but you're only getting maybe 1 or 2 board members at those meetings, and some significant decisions are being made or recommended out of those committees, and the full board doesn't have the ability really to go and properly vet some of these critical issues. So we hopefully will, other than maybe the policy committee, because that's sort of a separate animal by itself. So I look forward to the 2 individuals that are going to be participating in that policy committee, but every other committee should be part of the committee of the whole, and we're going to target 2 weeks prior to the regularly scheduled board meeting to go through the committee of the whole. A couple other quick items. We are working with the foundation to structure a new operating agreement. The college has always funded the staff that work for the foundation, and it's not been the greatest maybe working relationship. In fact, in that executive director would have multiple masters. They'd have the college as well as the foundation. So we are moving forward with the model where the foundation would actually hire the executive director, and the college would reimburse that position directly to the foundation, but that would be a foundation employee, build their own metrics, be accountable to the board, and in the end, I think it creates a very win-win opportunity, and I'm hoping for the November meeting that we have that in place and the board does support it. Then the only other item, presidential search is proceeding. The Board of Trustees did do a request for a proposal. They received a number of robust responses. They have shortlisted the firms to 3 firms. They will be interviewing those 3 firms Thursday evening, I believe. It's scheduled from 4 to 7 p.m. Thursday night, and it's anticipated that a recommended firm will be on the November agenda for approval by the Board of Trustees. After that, because the dollar amount of the contract will be in excess of $50,000, it is necessary to go forward to the Erie County Legislature for review and approval. So not quite sure when the actual search process will start, but the process is certainly on is moving forward. Colleen mentioned Veterans Day. Take a minute, thank a veteran. We wouldn't have these liberties if we didn't have our veterans that supported us. And so enjoy tomorrow. I wish it was as nice today as tomorrow's weather, but I'm sure we'll all find good things to do. And then if I don't see you in person, please have a restful and a safe Thanksgiving. And again, thank you for all that each and every one of you do for SUNY Erie Community College. We're turning the corner, and it's because of everyone on this call and everyone behind the scenes that I think we're really turning the corner. So with that, that concludes my report. And please, if you want to reach out to me offline, email, text, whatever, please feel free. I'll try to respond, maybe not as immediately, but I will try to respond promptly.
Great, thank you, Bill. There was one question in the chat box. Let me pull that up real quick. With the February 1st, with courses for the spring semester, the question is, courses that start and are designated to be remote, would they start as usual in January?
Yes, that's the plan right now, Colleen, and thank you for that clarification. I should have mentioned it. That is the academic calendar. It's based upon where we're going to start originally. So we will do remote as the normal start. We are still discussing, because essentially there's 8 less days within the academic calendar, because the original calendar had a February break and an April break, a holiday in each of those. So there's 10 days minus the 2 holidays. There's 8 days. There's discussion about we will most likely end the semester early. Not sure about graduation at this point in time. Andy and I and everyone, we're kind of going back and forth. What makes the most sense? Does it make sense not to change the graduation date? Because in case we're forced to go completely remote, give departments that have clinicals and labs maybe a 2-week cushion to complete those classes. I just don't know what the right direction is, but again, the faculty have been awesome in trying to resolve and work through and coming up with something that makes sense for our students as well as our staff.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. And so I'm going to turn it over to Amy Yoder. She's here today with the COVID-19 task force to give us a little bit more details beyond our colors and all that for Erie County. So Amy, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. I always get so excited coming to this one because, again, it's like the biggest group you get to see. So I miss you all. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm a visual learner. And I'm sick of my talking head on screen, so I'm actually going to share my screen, and I got a little PowerPoint, but I'll do a talk over with that. So bear with me when we get that set up. All right. Can you all see that? Colleen, are you good? Awesome. Okay. So first and foremost, I know this is a little bit of a theme, but I cannot thank the group of amazing volunteers that we have right now. There is literally about 85, which is so impressive. I mean, from so many different groups, areas, faculty, staff, you name it. We even have some students that are volunteering. So we have our checkpoints, we have pool testing, we have schedulers, we have just task force membership who have had to listen to my voice since January. So we have such an amazing group. So I cannot thank them enough. I wish I could figure out a better way to thank them, like, pizza or cupcakes, which is what I usually do, but not an option right now. So maybe sometime in the future, but I really wanted to publicly thank all of these people. And I want to thank everyone else too. This is such a heavy lift. We are all swimming in the same river, on the same boat. We are all trying to row together. And so I think it's super important to know that everyone is doing their part in this. It's such a confusing time. So I want to especially thank all of these groups. And if I missed anybody, I apologize. We're thinking of everyone here, but I want you to know that everybody knows that everyone's working in the same direction. I know Paula Sandy is going to get mad at me for this one, and I know we're SUNY Erie, but I'm going to go back to Erie Community College because I want to emphasize the community here. This really is a community effort, and we are doing an amazing job. As Bill talked about, our testing rates are so low here. We're working. We're going in the right direction. We're moving there. So I cannot thank you enough. Let's stay a community and stay on the same page and same direction. However, we are in rough waters right now. I know this, folks. We are the little sailboat swimming along, and here comes this big wave. And what does that mean? So we're in yellow right now. It didn't really change too much for us. The biggest thing is that 25 people maximum for groups, right? From the college perspective. We already are doing 20% of our students, more than 20% of our students weekly. And as Bill mentioned, we're working with our unions and getting an MOU in place for our staff to participate, which you can participate now. I do want to emphasize that. So this hasn't changed. We don't want to go to orange. And this is beyond our doors. I get that, but we have to stay diligent. We have to stay ahead. As Bill mentioned too, the SUNY guidance for the spring 2020 semester is now out, and we are working on that. There's several components. I think it's a 12-page document. We're reviewing it. We're putting it together. We're giving that back to SUNY by December 10th. As we mentioned before, there's changes to the schedule, break, the way the classes start, things to that extent. We're working that through, but I'm going to put my Dean of Students hat on real quick. I am super happy to see the supportive parts for students in there. A mental health piece in there, connectivity requirements, things to that extent for our students, which I think is super, super important. I just want to also remind everyone that all of the plans that we've submitted and that have been approved through SUNY, including our reopening plan, which keeps getting built upon, just so you know, as well as our testing plans, they're all on our website. So if you ever need them, they're out there. But if you can't find them, shoot me an email and I'll send them to you as well. So pool testing. Pool testing is super easy. Non-invasive, we're not sticking up anything anywhere. You're doing it yourself. You're sticking the big Q-tip in your mouth. It's super easy. And as Bill mentioned, we're doing that push starting this Thursday, where we will have testing capabilities on all 3 campuses, Monday through Friday. So it makes it very, very simple for anyone to show up, schedule a test 24 hours ahead of time because we can't take walk-ins. You have to register and be able to come to any one of your home campus or any one of them. If it's more convenient for you to go to a different campus than where you usually are, that's fine as well. So the testing number is 716-270-4679. Super, super important. You got to call ahead because we do have to register with SUNY Medical Upstate. You have to get in their system ahead of time, and they'll have you all set and squared away. You can even do it a day before, but it just got to be ahead of time. So just to keep in mind, as we're doing this big push before the Thanksgiving break and prior to the end of the semester, we will still continue to do pool testing every single week. We would just have less hours, but still very much a huge availability. So please don't hesitate to schedule multiple tests if you call the scheduling hotline too. I have a big favor to ask, especially if you're teaching face-to-face classes. If you could take a moment out of your class, ask your students, hey, have you registered for your pool test yet? And if they haven't, please let them know what the testing hotline is. Again, we are staffed by volunteers. We're all working really hard to contact and connect to all those students, but we need a little lift. We need a little help. It's about 1,300 students. That's a lot of kids. That's a lot of people to try to work into small periods of time, especially some of those who have other obligations, not really the best about calling people back. They all want to text, which is fine. But whatever help that you can help us with, we really do appreciate it. So again, 270-4679. Contact tracing. This is super important. This has been a rough couple days. I'm not going to lie. We have dodged a lot of bullets here at SUNY Erie. Unfortunately, there are members of our community that are sick. The most important thing that you can do is give me a call. This is my cell phone number. Don't hesitate to call me at any point in time, 525-4500. If you are positive or hear of a positive, such as a coworker or a student, something like that, please get in contact with me. Erie County Department of Health is inundated right now. They are behind. I'm being very, very honest. You're seeing the numbers, you're seeing the rates. There's hundreds of people being diagnosed each day in Erie County. That is a lot of contact tracing to do. So whatever we can do to speed up the process here to keep our community safe, that information will also be shared with the County Department of Health. So again, we're building upon just what we have here, but at the larger community. And again, helping us stay out of that orange level, which we don't want to be in. I know, a lot of panic, a lot of tension, lots of strain, lots of struggle. But again, we're a community moving together. And what you can do to overcome that right now is have a plan B and a C and a D. Again, we're in rough waters. We're paddling ahead. You got to anticipate that things could possibly change at any moment. And if you don't know something, simply ask. Never will I shy away from any question that anybody has, because I know there's a lot of uncertainty. You hear a lot of rumors. You see things on TV. You hear missed messages. But I'm more than happy, as is Mark, to answer any questions we have. And have compassion. Everyone has different levels on how they're approaching this, too. I can't stress that enough. I get everything from very panicked phone calls to, I really don't believe COVID's true phone calls. So we get the gambit. So I think it's really important to keep that in mind when we're dealing with everyone. And stay positive. We're doing okay. We're here, right? We're still functioning. We're still working. And always stay flexible. That's super important. That's our task force model. We have to stay always flexible. Again, that's my contact information. It's there. Please don't hesitate to shoot me a text, an email, call me, whatever you want to do. And as I always say, keep your distance, wear your mask, wash your hands, and go Bills. So I will stop sharing and pass it back over to you, Colleen.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. And I love the Semper Gumby seal. That is amazing. We have, and I don't know if anyone has, heard us continually say that in meetings, but Semper Gumby, you got to be flexible like Gumby and Pokey. So thank you very much. And then just really quick, there has been a couple comments in the chat. I just want to, actually, Bill, do you want to clarify the class starting, or I could just read it?
No.
Oh, you're muted.
That phrase, I will love never hearing that phrase again. You're muted. But to clarify, and I probably didn't speak eloquently enough, all classes will start simultaneously. It's not that we're starting some in January and some in February. So all classes will start as scheduled on January 19th. Some classes may have some face-to-face component prior to February 1st. That is what we're working on right now. But all classes will start January 19th, as the original academic calendar showed.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
And if I could, I was going to put it in the chat, but Amy and Mark have been a godsend to this college. Their work ethic and leadership, I honestly don't know where we'd be without them. So when you see them, hopefully face to face someday soon, pat them on the back. It's a job well done.
Yeah,
Thank
no, absolutely. And it's even helped me all the different information because I am on the calls with the COVID-19 task force and getting these updates because there is so much misinformation out there or just people that are panicking. And the team that we have in place with Amy and Mark have been so effective at communicating, you know, what is happening, what we're doing about it, and very matter of fact. So there is no gray areas where there's confusion, and it's helped me talk to even my peers and neighbors and things to, you know, keep everybody on the same page. So thank you to you guys as well.
Colleen, if I can thank you both. If I could just jump in one more time. If you have any friends who are working for K through 12, shoot them a text, give them a call. They are in really rough waters right now. They're really struggling because, like I said, probably months ago, they are steps behind us. So I really feel bad for those that are working in K through 12.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My sister's a principal in an elementary school, and the stress that I can just see on her every day is just incredible. So yeah, definitely reach out to your K-12 folks. They're really panicking about this orange thing because orange means the school's closed. So parents are panicking too. I got a lot of those phone calls today as well. But anyway, we're going to move into old business, and I have Tracy Archie's on the call to talk to us about something that came out from the White House and then the Chancellor's office. I'll pull that up real quick while you are there, Tracy.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. So happy to see you all. And just as just a little feather, if I could just say that I was on Amy Yoder's search committee, so I am very proud to say that I am partly responsible for this hire. And she has made me very proud. So thank you again to you and Mark for the work that you've been doing for this task force. So yes, I just wanted to talk briefly with you about the White House executive order that has come to light and just kind of briefly kind of break it down for you. The White House executed an order on September 22nd, and basically it is asking colleges, universities, or in the terms that they use, federal contractors to pretty much cease and desist any type of diversity training that uses, as you can see in this letter, what they call divisive concepts, okay? Divisive concepts that have an impact on race and sex stereotyping, anything that would make people feel uncomfortable or make them feel offended, make them feel that you are pointing them out and really just offending them in the biggest way you could possibly imagine. So as you can imagine, as a institution that has made a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, along with the other 63 colleges under the SUNY umbrella, our chancellor, James Malatras, he is our chancellor for all 64 colleges, has issued a statement about this and where we stand as an institution of higher learning. This statement that the White House has executed does have some level of discrimination. It has a little, it's not in the reality, as you can imagine. If you are in a diversity training, a diversity session of any kind, anti-racism, social justice, whatever it is under the umbrella of DEI, and you don't feel some level of self-reflection, some level of discomfort, then we're not doing our jobs. The purpose of training, DEI training, is for us to grow and kind of look at where we can go and move forward as a community. So I'm just, paraphrasing the letter because it is long, but our chancellor did submit a letter, which I believe caused some confusion to some groups. He put together a statement and he asked for folks to sign the statement online as a unity against discrimination. Okay. And what he did was he sent the letter to all of the presidents under SUNY. He also sent it to all of the chief diversity officers. He sent it to shared governance offices as well. So it went to a lot of different groups with the same purpose. He was looking for a lot of signatures and support. This letter basically is asking and encouraging the White House to cease and desist this letter, okay, or the White House order. The statement that he put together, as well as all the signatures of CDOs and or presidents and any other groups that signed it, is on SUNY's website. If you did not sign the letter when it came across your particular area, it's okay. You have that right and that prerogative not to sign it. The chancellor's message basically says that as an institution, as a governance institution under SUNY, we have committed to not participating in any type of discrimination of any kind, or to cease and desist any type of training that is going to help our community and fulfill the purpose that we have under the SUNY umbrella. They've worked many years on this type of work. So I hope that clears up some of the confusion about the different letters or the different questions and the signatures that were asked. It really was something to be a team effort as a SUNY community, if you will. So a lot of other colleges, in addition to SUNY, have put together a commitment, a stand together video that has been shared amongst all of our colleges, and they're asking us to stand together on this particular refusal of this White House executive order. I have a very short video that I'd like to show you. Bob's going to lift it up for me so that you can see it, and there you go.
We, the presidents and chancellors of public higher education institutions from across the nation,
stand together to call out and eradicate discrimination and racism.
We stand together as leaders of vastly different universities, some large and in the heart of densely populated urban areas,
others small and in the isolation of America's farmland.
Some historically Black colleges and universities,
others Hispanic and Native American serving institutions.
Some incredibly diverse and multicultural, and others
more racially and ethnically homogenous.
We stand together, intending to leverage the full weight of our positions and power
to root out anti-Black policies and procedures.
We stand together to provide equitable pathways to higher education,
in which diversity and inclusion is not only celebrated, but integral to the success of every student in every discipline.
We stand together, declining the antiquated calls to lead institutions that are merely not racist.
Instead, we aim to be anti-racist
and enhance our support of underrepresented faculty, staff, and students.
For those of us born with privilege, we stand together to correct the inequities that benefit us at the expense of others.
We stand together for those who have been mistreated, falsely imprisoned,
or have died at the hands or under the gavel of injustice.
We stand together with all of you,
the more than 100,000 students we collectively represent.
For you are our future.
And as we unite at this historic confluence of promise and hope,
we vow to listen to,
learn from, and collaborate with you
to eradicate the injustice that is wrapped in our nation's history
and too often perpetuated today.
We stand together in recognition of the unique gifts each of our respective institutions bring to this work.
Some have bold ideas and radical abilities.
Others are more subtle and measured in their approach.
But all are bound by their unrestrained mission of building a world of love and acceptance through education.
And finally, We stand together to ensure our students, faculty, and staff
understand that they are not only invited, but expected to join us in this commitment.
Only then can we stir the good trouble until it is no longer seen as trouble, only good.
Only then can we turn ripples of hope into tides of change.
Only then can we reach our dream of a beloved community.
Only then will we truly be one. By coming together, by working together,
by standing together.
we
Stand together.
So that is just a short video of where we're going as a nation. And if you're with this, wonderful. I just wanted you to know that as your CDO, I did sign on as part of one of the SUNY colleges that is in support of anti-racism, anti-discrimination, and this White House executive order. If you have questions, more detailed questions about it, because it is a detailed letter, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I prefer that you reach out to me. My door is always open. I don't ever want you to think that you have to send a message to someone else. Pick up the phone or email me. I am open. I'm always willing to answer any questions. Going forward, I just wanted to, just briefly give my honor and my respect to all of our veterans that are here on the call, and those in active duty, and those who previously served. I just, want to give you the greatest praise. Thank you for your service and appreciate your sacrifice. Tomorrow is a very important day, so let's definitely do something positive to honor those individuals. We also have a film and panel discussion tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. That my office is hosting for National Native American Heritage Month. The link is available on our website. If you just go to our homepage, you will see it on there. You should be able to click on it. If you are having trouble, just shoot me an email and I'll forward you the direct link that I have. And then just finally, just a special thank you to our Dean of Students, Jason Perry, and his partner, Emily Terena, for an outstanding presentation on dimensions of gender this past week. It was very informative, eye-opening, and I really respect what Emily presented, and I hope that others that attended really gained a lot from it, and look forward to having more presenters and conversations like that going forward. So thank you, Jason, for bringing her into our life. All right, that's all I had. If you have any questions, shoot them in the chat box or reach out to me. I wish you all well. Have a safe Veterans Day and a very safe, peaceful Thanksgiving. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks, Colleen.
Great. Thank you, Tracy. There were a couple of questions in the chat. One of them is if that video that you shared, was it showed on, shared on our social media at all, or is it available on our website?
It is a video that was given to our SUNY headquarters, our SUNY administration office, and they shared it with some presidents and CDOs. So not a public video. I think it's available on the SUNY homepage where people could actually view it.
Great, thank you. And then there was one other one, asking if SUNY has addressed any potential impact due to the election on this executive order.
They have not addressed it yet. I know that Chancellor Malatras will have it on his agenda soon. I meet monthly with the SUNY Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion with his vice president, his right hand for DEI. I know that it will probably come up on our next agenda, but nothing has come up right now because this is under the old administration. So we, know what's going to happen next.
Great. Thank you very much, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that video was great. I'm really excited that you shared it. It's very powerful. Very powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
Right. And I'm going to try and share my screen again. So I keep getting kicked out. So I don't know if you guys keep noticing I'm in and out. It's like I have magical powers. But I don't. I think I'm just not getting anything with technology. So anywho, up next we have general education update with Erickson Nealons. And I see he's on the call, so thank you, Erickson.
Yeah, thank you, Colleen. And first, too, I want to piggyback off of what many of you have said. And thank you to all those who have served and currently are serving. Certainly gracious and a lot of gratitude for their. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know how precious that is now more than ever. Last meeting, the General Education Committee had submitted the SUNY Erie ILO reports that was on the quantitative reasoning, technological competency, and scientific reasoning. This is a request to each of you, as well as to feel free to send this out to your respective departments for feedback. I received a number of them from faculty so far, which is great, and they have been incorporated into that document. This is a great opportunity for us to practice that shared governance and have an opportunity to contribute to these reports. And the intent is at the next meeting in December, we will then do a vote on these reports, very much like we did last academic year. So if there's any questions that you have or any comments that you have, please email me directly. I'll put it in the chat. It's nealonse@ecc.edu. And thank you so much for your anticipated feedback. And again, paralleling what many of you said, the day after tomorrow, and then happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Great. Thank you, Erickson. And just for those watching, I did send those out in the email after the October meeting, but I will also include them on this Thursday. And as Erickson pointed out, it's our feedback and us working together that is what is going to be more purposeful for the different initiatives that we have going on at the college. So I really encourage everyone to take a look and email Erickson with any feedback. Do you have a hard deadline, Erickson, for when you would like to receive feedback by?
I do not. Again, the intent is to vote on them at the next meeting. So if they are, let's say, relatively minor comments or feedback, I probably take those within the week before the meeting, and then I can address those at next meeting. If they are things that are more substantial, I think if we have an opportunity to discuss those earlier, that'd be great. I don't expect that to happen, but if it does, absolutely, earlier the better.
For sure, for sure. So the next meeting is December 10th. So everybody mark that down. It's a few days after our share day. So we're going to have some very exciting things in December early on. I'm already making notes of things that I want to share. So anyway, thank you, Erickson. And so last under old business, we have Erica with the Chancellor's Award Committee update.
And I feel a lot of pressure because it's 3:38.
Oh, yeah, get moving.
Okay, chop, chop. So I think Colleen reminded everybody last meeting that we've moved the Chancellor's Award to have 2 co-chairs. It's written now for the College Senate Vice Chair to be one of the co-chairs. And then the Faculty College of Community Colleges representative for the Senate, who is Jackie Bossman. She will be my co-chair for this. So having 2 people kind of spearhead it kind of makes it a little bit of a lighter lift. I sent an email out today to some colleagues to find out their interest in being on the committee. But I feel like I just want to canvass you guys. If you know someone who wants to be on the committee, if you want to be on this committee, just a quick reminder, the Chancellor's Awards are an opportunity for us to nominate and celebrate the really innovative work we've been doing. There's one for faculty service, there's one for librarianship, there's one for professional service, there's one for scholarship and creative arts, and then there's 2 for teaching, one for adjuncts and one for full-timers. My goal is to have as many of those represented on the committee as possible. So I really want a pretty big committee, but we're not a committee that's pretty high maintenance. We don't meet necessarily monthly. We can do a lot of screening stuff individually and then maybe do a quick WebEx kind of thing. But I feel it's really important we celebrate the things that we're doing. It's really, especially now. So if you want to nominate someone who's doing an amazing job, if you want to be on the committee because you know you want to, we're the coolest people going around, you can email me, you can email me, email Jackie, or you can email Colleen, and we'll get that put together. 3:40, 2 minutes, done.
Well done. And the next meeting for the Senate is the 8th. Today's the 10th. 2020. All right. We're moving to new business, and we have something for governance from Michael Rio.
Well, what we're introducing is just the bylaws change, moving that faculty staff awards committee to the Senate. So if that comes up on the screen, you can take a quick look at it. The document is also included in the Senate meeting documents, and we need to introduce that bylaws change this meeting so we can discuss and vote on that in the December meeting.
All right. I'm trying to pull it up to share. Can you see it, or do I have to hit another button?
I'm not seeing it yet.
Okay. Here we go. All right. Is it up?
Yes.
Great.
So again, it pretty much says what Erica Hendra just said. So we're hoping for support. We're hoping to encourage participation in these awards. Some selection committees will require, specific representation from membership based on the criteria for those awards. But again, sharing that with a college-wide community, I think, is important, and get some of that recognition to SUNY Erie.
That's great.
Questions
Thank you,
or
Michael.
comments? Yeah.
I'm going to say I don't think there are any. And just a little bit of background with where this came from is the committee has been kind of lost, if you will, for a couple of years, and we really haven't had any Chancellor Award winners other than most recently Mary Jo Graham for adjunct teaching. So, we really need to celebrate all the good work that everybody is doing, and with having the vice chair and our faculty council of community colleges representative being the two chairs, they're two people that have been voted by the body, right? And then it's makes it more specific that it's assigned to an elected positions. So that's where that thought came from. And as Michael mentioned, we're going to hopefully vote on that and discuss it further at the December meeting. Okay, next up we have enrollment management, Phil Struble.
How we doing? Thanks for the time. I'm not gonna, I don't have a lot. President Reuter covered a lot of the stuff that I was gonna update on. But first, I just want to say I'm very humbled and thankful for all the support that I've been given by this group, and the staff overall. We wouldn't have been able to get as far as we have so quickly without the support of the whole college. Chris Polinsky and Jason were very helpful in getting that communication out to share on Blackboard. Colleen, you've been great organizing things, especially around Open Red, former stuff. Adrian pushing forward the late start classes, which we have 55 students in. So that's 55 students we saved, probably withdrawn from the college. So all these initiatives are great. And I do appreciate the support. So since registration started and the communications have gone out, the Welcome Center and the counseling have been receiving a ton of phone calls for advisement. People are calling to find out who their advisors are. So the stuff is working. Hopefully we'll start building the reports and start sharing the registration numbers, and hopefully that's going to lead to overall success in the spring term. We also have a pretty robust communication plan to remind students to register for the spring term. They're going out bi-weekly, 1 week, in emails and text messaging. We had our first round of text messaging last week. The response we got back was probably the highest response we've ever gotten from a text message. So, and it was a real simple message. Hey, we're just reaching out, checking in. The students were very receptive to it. So hopefully, the more we're engaging with students, the more it's going to lead to helping us build this enrollment. We're going to have a little more information coming out. We're going to go through a video from the president about that the faculty can share with their students about the winter term, as well as some other written communication. I do want to thank everybody, all the faculty and staff that participated in open house. Although it was not the turnout that we expected, I think the event flowed very well. It did feel like an open house. And the good news about it is, although we didn't have a ton of students in each session, maybe about 15 in each session, our applicant numbers went up significantly as a result of the event and everything around the event. Right now, currently, the college, we're up 282 applicants from a year ago. Part of that is from the open house, everybody's willingness to participate. And also the admissions office is pretty aggressively working the students that didn't end up attending, that applied but didn't end up attending for the fall term. So all these little pockets and the little initiatives we're doing are really helping the big picture. So thank you. We're finalizing some of the marketing for the spring and summer. We're figuring out what budgets we have to get the a solid marketing plan. We've gotten some good direction from the provost in terms of how we're going to do it in relation to guided pathways. So more to come on that. And then lastly, for open house, we're also going to be sending a survey because we're starting to plan for the spring one to everybody who participated, getting some thoughts and ideas on how we can change it, how we can improve it to get more students to actually attend. That's it. Open registration as well. That I got to get some more clarification. I thought those dates were moved, but if we're going off the original calendar, I think those are going to be January, and we should hopefully have a plan finalized for that by Thanksgiving. So we'll send out information shortly after Thanksgiving on what how that's going to run in this environment. That's all I have. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Phil. And I just want to point out that Phil has been great to work with all of this. Anytime myself or anyone else has come to him with, hey, we have an idea for this, we have an idea for that, he's like, all right, great, go for it, run with it. And it's all these, everybody putting our best foot forward and throwing our ideas out there that is helping us grab these pockets of students that is going to help our enrollment overall. So thank you, Phil, for being so easy to work with too with all this stuff.
Thank you. Appreciate all your help.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And then next on the agenda, I did have the 7-week courses for Project Complete on there, but it was addressed twice. And I know Jason Steinitz was one of the masterminds behind getting this up and running. So thank you, Jason, with Adrian Rannick. Is there anything you wanted to add about the Project Complete, Jason, that wasn't already discussed? You're on mute.
I'm just like President Reuter. I don't want to hear you're on mute anymore. The only thing I wanted to say was some people have no clue what this is about. And so this first time around, what we were trying to do was find students who were struggling, probably failing, and needed to withdraw from a course. Have a course for them to move into immediately that would save their credits for the semester, save their full-time status, save their financial aid, and get them through the semester without having to drop below 12 credit hours. That was the purpose. And it took an enormous amount of work from people behind the scenes, counseling. I went to them and begged, and they very graciously helped us out in contacting students. I reached out to lots of people, faculty, sent me lists of students. They're failing. They could be a candidate for this. And so, as Phil said, actually, I just checked today, we have 59 students in 3 sections that were able to keep their financial aid, were able to finish it with 12 credit hours, hopefully, this semester, and are still here and still hanging on because we were able to sort of rescue them, throw them a life preserver when they were struggling. So the next step, of course, is to look at how the students actually do in these courses and how they feel about them, and then to expand the program or clean up, if there's something wrong, we need to clean it up, but expand it and maybe start to have half and half sections where you start with a 7.5-week course and you finish with a 7.5-week course, so that students are not taking 4 to 5 different courses, topics, instructor expectations all at the same time. So they don't deal with any more than 2 or 3 courses at once. So that's the idea, but that's down the road yet. So thanks to everybody who kicked in. This was an amazing week and a half job of getting these courses up and running. 2 weeks, I think we did it in. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fast. It was, hey, we have this idea, and Bill Reuter's just like, okay, what do we need to do? Go, do it. And yeah, it was quick and just amazing work for everybody. It's everyone's love for the college has been really apparent, especially this semester as we've been pulling together to help our students and help our college. So the last thing, so Erica, you're good. There's still 9 minutes left, so there's like no pressure anymore. We have 9 minutes, and we're at the last item of the agenda, which is for the good of the order. And that's, again, one of the parts where if there's anything that you need to share or anything like that, that would be the time. And for our students that are joining us, this would be also, hey, I had a question and I didn't know how to ask it, or any of those things. That's kind of why we have this part of the agenda, so that it's just an open floor for any questions or comments.
Colleen, I have a comment. I don't know if you can hear me. This is Tracy.
Oh, yes, hi Tracy.
Hi there. So there was a question from Kathy. She just wanted me to remind everyone about our EAP services. I know that this is a difficult time for many people, many staff and families. And we do have EAP services, so I will plug the number. I will type the number into the chat box in case anyone wants to get the EAP number for themselves or their families, as well as Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They're covering all mental health services in full until further notice as well. So just wanted to remind you of that. And we've had a number of webinars that have been advertised also that are related to mental health and professional development that hopefully people are able to take advantage of as well. So I just wanted to share that information for the good of the order.
Great, that's huge. That's right. Thank you, Tracy, because that is something that I forget about what we have available for ERP, and it's very helpful with all sorts of different things. So it's a great service that the college has. Did anyone have anything else that they would like to add? All right, so
yes, I had one thing. I'm not sure if it completely has to do with this group, but I engaged the students on some of their issues, and one that was big was signing up for classes and the computer aspect of that, of how like every class had like 500 different ones of them. Like English, you have so many different options. And they really had a difficult time finding their classes and getting a schedule put together.
Great, thank you, Andrew. Andrew's one of our new campus presidents at South joining us. So thank you, Andrew, and congratulations. Yeah, it's definitely trying to register for courses through WebAdvisor can be difficult, especially if you're not familiar with the platform as a first-time student. And there are filters that students can use to try to break it down by campus or even by instructor and things like that. But I would say that would be where advisors would come in. I would tell your students that you're working with that, that everyone has an advisor. Advisors are reaching out, and registering for classes for the spring semester will be much smoother and easier for them to get a schedule if they work with their advisor. And as Phil had mentioned as well, some students are calling the counseling office because they're trying to find their advisor, and the counselors are directing them to the appropriate people so that everyone can get their schedules for the spring semester. So thank you for that. So
yeah, I think he's also talking about, can I just say something about synchronous and asynchronous? The student looks at all, they all look basically the same, like as far as there's no times, that are different. It's just all the same, asynchronous or synchronous.
It's actually, that's one of the things we've worked on, Linda. And there are definitions at the top of WebAdvisor now about what is specifically async, sync. online and in person, and and what it actually means for them. So, and it's also now in one of the fields inside of WebAdvisor. So we cleaned it up quite a bit from what was available on WebAdvisor in the fall to what is available right now for the spring.
I have one question. If it does say asynchronous, is chances are the teacher is going to stick with asynchronous, like they won't meet with the student, like face-to-face through WebEx?
Well, I believe when we built our schedules, the instructors picked what they were going to do. Jason, I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, I was just going to say that if you're doing a course asynchronously, it means you do not have a set time that students are expected to be in your WebEx or in Zoom meeting or whatever, like a regular class lecture. However, a lot of faculty teaching asynchronously do have meetings, but they don't require them. And so they'll have a meeting with students, maybe a question and answer period or a short lecture. Then they'll record it and then they'll post it so that students have access to that at any time. So asynchronous literally means any time that's convenient for the student. There's no specific time. That's the big difference.
Can I ask one quick question?
Yes, Joel.
Okay. Yeah, I do exactly what Jason said. I do asynchronous, and I have a weekly optional video chat with students, and some show up, some don't, but then I do record it and I post it, so that's great. The one question I have is that I know we were asked if we want to do synchronous or asynchronous for the spring semester. But what I'm wondering is if we do end up, and I know it's remote, but if it's a possibility that we are in class in the spring semester and we've signed up for, say, a synchronous class, will that be moved into an in-person class, or are we still staying online? I mean, what is going to happen with that if we do end up going back into class and there is a vaccine and everybody's good? What happens then? Because I like teaching in class and I'd rather not do online if we go forward with it. So I'm curious how that might work.
I think that's something that we are working on, and it's a plan we do have to send to SUNY, but I'm wondering if Bill is still around to maybe answer that better than me. Maybe not.
If not, that's okay. I know it's a little ahead of the game.
Still here.
Curious.
I don't have a quick answer for you. I'm sorry. It is something that continues to evolve as far as the directives from SUNY, so I don't have a quick answer for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's still a work in process from everything that I've heard. And I think when we meet again in December, we'll have a much clearer idea of how this is going to look, because it's brand new. It just happened, I think on Thursday last week, or Wednesday, but it's pretty new. But thank you. Okay, so with that, I am going to bid you all farewell. Please have a lovely Thanksgiving with your family and friends. Keep it small. That's one of the hardest things. I usually have 48 people at my house for Thanksgiving. Irish Catholic, there's 1,000 of us. And I'm just doing it with my immediate family that live in my house this year. It's really different. It's hard, and but it's one of those things. I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh yeah, there was a super spreader event in Hamburg because Colleen Quinn wanted to have a big Thanksgiving party. But everybody, whatever you have to do with your Thanksgiving, and I know it's going to be different this year. I hope you enjoy it and have some rest and some time of peace. And again, thank a veteran if you see anyone tomorrow, or friends or relatives, because their service to our country is invaluable. So we'll see everybody in December. And I just want to say, go Bills, 7-2. The last time was 1993. I was a junior in high school, right? Junior in high school. Isn't that it's crazy? So go Bills. Go SUNY Erie. Let's get those students registered, and I'll see you in December.